As Call of Duty players, it's quite important for us to know who's worse at the game than us. We need to feel validated that we play the game well and true, not like those other players. That's why today I'm fulfilling a long requested video looking at 6 of the worst types of Call of Duty players, and specifically types of players that have stood the test of time and can be found in any COD game. Let's begin. Campers. Absolutely no one will be surprised to see these stationary, corner living, perpetual head glitching bores on this list, and I say that as a self-confessed camper myself. I know just how much of a prick I can be, but I'm talking about the worst type of camper. You know, the type that makes you question if they actually have a right thumbstick on their controller. The type that gets motion sickness if they start sprinting in game. Actually, that's untrue because they actually had to sprint to their camp spot. But the camper that contributes nothing to the game but contributes a lot to your rising blood pressure after you die to them twice and 3 times seeking that revenge kill before calling it a day and letting them keep their wee campsite. And it's just as annoying having them on your team too, to be honest. They'll have about 4 kills and 1 death to their name and they'll be pretty chuffed. Meanwhile, you and the rest of the team have been ground into dust by the other team because you actually dared to move around the map, which leads me nicely on to players who don't play the objective. I have a hatred for these players that burns hotter than 1,000 suns going supernova. I sometimes lie awake in bed at night after a tough COD session and curse under my breath. Why the fuck did no one help me capture B? It's like these players jump into domination, hardpoint, etc, get a bunch of kills but lose the game and think, if only there was a game mode that was based on getting the most kills. And don't give me the, well, every team needs a slayer so the other players can capture flags. Honestly mate, unless you're going 50 for 3 every game you play, you're a hindrance. You're another reason us objective players are needing spinal corrective surgery. I mean, check this example. I'm clocking in with 3 minutes 8 seconds in the hardpoint. My teammates' combined time doesn't even come close to that. 13 seconds, 22 seconds, 1 second. At that point you are actively avoiding playing the objective, missing out on tons of XP too. You can tell how much this means to me, and here, it's not exactly happy days when the other team doesn't play the objective. That usually just makes for a shit game of team deathmatch that either ends too quick or goes on too long. And I'm glad to say, if you don't want to be stuck with these players in your team, I've got a solution. Get yourself into my Discord server for free. I want it filled to max capacity with veteran COD players and sound folk to hang out with. Find some like-minded players to party up with. You can chat to me, shoot me some video ideas, could even get involved with videos, and just have a good time in the Marley 13 Discord. Find a link to join in the description, and honestly, I just want a cool community to be a part of on there, and thanks to Discord for sponsoring this video. But moving on. Glitch abusers. Funnily enough, these players are not only one of the worst type of players, but they are usually the worst players. They're glitching under maps, on top of maps, into the maps. They're everywhere except where they're allowed to be. They totally ruin the game. For example, we recently had a glitch on Point du Hoc on COD World War II, which rendered the map virtually unplayable. We already only had 9 maps to play before we had to surrender 1, while the devs took a fortnight to fix it. To be fair, every COD game has map exploits, and I'm pretty sure most of us have exploited these exploits at one time or another. Getting under the map Castle on World at War was a particular favourite of mine, but that was before I had a conscience. Think of your fellow player just trying to have a good time legit before searching for the latest out of map glitches on YouTube. It's not just map glitches though, we've had all sorts of glitches over the years that have been abused to the detriment of honest, hard-working players. AFK players. Whatever the reason, you had to go pee, someone's at your door, dinner's ready, your girlfriend called you. Yeah, I know. It might be your boyfriend calling, your dog has just spewed all over the floor, a UFO has literally landed in your back garden, and the wee aliens are asking to speak to you as an ambassador for planet Earth. Do not fucking dare go AFK in my Call of Duty game, or I'll be very upset and annoyed. Here, why is there always that one friend in your group who always just goes AFK when playing? Like, how busy are you? Anyway, this type of player is annoying no matter what team they're on, especially if they're AFK because they're trying to complete a challenge that includes playing matches. I can handle someone sending a text mid-match if they keep their AFK status to a max of 30 seconds, but any longer and you're taking the piss. Also, I know it's technically away from controller for most people here, so you can delete that comment. You're in the process of typing. players who constantly lag. We all can't have NASA level internet speeds. I get that, it must be bad enough trying to play with a 2002 dial-up connection, so this is nothing personal, it's just me venting on behalf of everyone who's came up against an absolute slideshow of a player. You'll be running round a corner and be confronted with an enemy, little exclamation marks pop above your heads like something out of a Pokemon game, you draw your submachine gun seconds before they seemingly wind up their gun, you spray about 10 bullets into their chest and move forward with no momentum loss, barely take a hit whatsoever. You're already reloading and thinking about the next kill before your soldier flops to the ground instantly and the kill cam begins to roll. Apparently you didn't obliterate your opponent before they could even pull the trigger, but in fact the opposite occurred. They didn't even feel a scratch from you. What gives? Lag gives, more so lag compensation, but that's a bit technical for a video about the worst types of COD players. And you know what you do as soon as you suspect you're a victim of some bullshit? You pull up the leaderboard and the evidence is right there in plain sight. One red bar. That's all you need to know. Well, actually, it'd be nice to know the actual ping of players, not an arbitrary red bar signalling their connection, but again, a bit technical for this video. And lastly, rage quitters, the type of player who just can't take a beating but they're happy to dish it out. Nope, as soon as they die once, they're out of there. Enemy teams gained a 10-point lead in domination. See ya, no fighting them whatsoever. Their muscle memory for the sequence of leaving a game is so good that they can leave a game in a blink of an eye. And rage quitters are of course terrible for both teams. If it's on your team, then the beating is only going to get worse because of the lack of bodies. How many times have you been down a player or two praying that anyone joins, but it never happens and you just become cannon fodder for the other team? On the flip side of that, the other team rage quits and then that makes the game so slow in my opinion. Sure, you can get a few easier kills, but it's just not really worth it for me. Plus, you know, with your luck, a full team of sweats will enter and flip the match on its head, then you'll be the one tempted to rage quit. And that's us. Do let me know which type of player you are and which you hate the most. For me, I am a bit of a camper when I need to be, but not when there's an objective to capture. That's why number 2 is my pet hate. Any likes on the video are very much appreciated, as well as suggestions for videos in the future, which, like I say, you can also do in my new Discord server. Shout out to the notification squad who just continue to check in early, and if you'd like to become a part of the squad, hit that wee bell icon when you subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.